If you're struggling with savings and you have big plans in your life, then this rule is for you. I'll show you a simple framework that allowed me to buy a house 10 years earlier than the national average. So if you do it right, I know it works. And this is not one of those popular savings that tell you exactly how much you need to save. This rule is built around you. So in this video, I will show you how to define your survivor baseline, how to approach savings, the framework that is built around your life and not the other way around, and the bucket system for long-term wealth creation. But first, let's quickly talk about some savings rule. Elizabeth Warren 50-30-20 is a very popular saving rule. It basically splits your savings into 3 different buckets. So 50% goes towards your needs, 30% goes towards your wants, and 20% towards your savings. This rule is very powerful, but I see one slight problem with it. And this is, with rising wages, you get more of everything. But your savings are actually growing the least, because they only represent 20% of your income. That's why this framework that I am about to show you is perfect for those big purchases in your life, like a house or a car. To achieve this, we first need to define your survival expenses. And to do that, we simply write down only the expenses you need to survive and function throughout the month. Here we exclude anything for comfort or pleasure. And this is not about deprivation, it's only about clarity, and with this clarity you will reduce financial stress dramatically. And beauty about this is that you think about your specific situation and you can switch things around, as each person is unique. What I'm about to show you is just a roadmap upon you build on. I'll show you how I define my survival expenses, which buckets I include, so I encourage you to stop at each slide and write down what your basic financial expenses are. So let's get started with number 1, which is basic food. Basic food, you can simply think about the food you're buying for nutrition and not for cravings. So you should include here things like staples, some basic spices and oils, and dairy alternative. But you should exclude any beverages, sweets, snacks, takeout and delivery. Of course, you can, as I mentioned, switch things around to better suit your lifestyle. Then number 2 are utility bills. So these are the costs required to keep your home running. You should exclude things like streaming services and entertainment related subscriptions, while include anything from water, electricity, heating, trash and sewage bills. Number 3 is transportation. Here focus strictly on A to B journeys that are job or income related and also survivor related. Here I mean like visit to the supermarket where you buy essential food you need. So you should include gas or public transport, any parking fees, maintenance and registration and tolls, while you should exclude any leisure trips, any cosmetic upkeeps, any performance parts. Number 4 is clothing. Here you can think of buying just cost-effective essentials. Here I don't say you go cheap, but include any t-shirts, sweaters, jackets, trousers, underwear, any footwear, clothes for job purposes, and as a rule of thumb, I buy only when replacing a worn out item, and exclude any brand name premiums, duplicate items and fashion accessories. Number 5 is insurance. So these are your basically financial safety nets. So you can include health insurance, car insurance, home or rental insurance, while exclude any product protection or flight and travel insurance. And number 6 is hygiene, healthcare and cleaning. So here is just basic personal and household care. So you should include anything like cleaning products, laundry detergents, basic hygiene items, dental care, healthcare, medicine and basic hair care, while excluding anything from professional services to high-end cologne or perfume. So these are my 6 pillars I defined my personal baseline of expenses. Of course, you can switch things around, but be mindful of what you are including, as this is your foundation upon we will build now onwards. So if you don't know your spendings, what you can do is save every receipt during a month and highlight and sum only the essential purchases. And with this, you will know exactly how much you need to survive each month. If this is the only thing you do after this video, you will reduce your financial stress substantially, because if anything bad happens, you know exactly where to cut to survive. But of course, we need to add something for pleasure because we are not robots and we need to treat ourselves good. So add in budget for pleasure. And here you can think about many things. It can be travel, it can be a drink, it can be a takeout, a delivery, whatever you want. That's why I said this is your personal framework you can build around your life and not the other way around. Just remember, every dollar you add back for comfort is a dollar you're choosing to take away from your future. So, for example, if your survivor baseline says you need 50% of your monthly income just to survive, then be mindful of how much you are willing to add in for pleasure. Now, of course, again, here depends on your personal situation. As someone who is saving for house, for example, you will want to have pleasure percentage lower than, for example, to an individual who already owns a house, already has everything they want, so they can bump up the pleasure more. And now to stay on course, what you can do is automate everything. Once you know how much is your survivor baseline, how much you want to add in for pleasure, you can create automatic transfers from your checking account into your savings account. But now the true change comes in with the bucket system. Personally, I have 3 buckets. But of course, as you already learned across this video, you should put these buckets down for yourself. I'll briefly explain what I do for this, and especially the first one, the emergency fund, is something everyone should have. Emergency fund is simply a bucket that is filled up first. And this bucket is very important as it again reduces financial stress because you always have some funds you can rely on to fix your car, to fix your fridge, or for any medical related stuff. How big of an emergency fund you have is your personal decision, but I would say you'd rather have it a little bit on a higher end than to struggle to pay for any breakdowns or any unexpected health related bills. Now the second bucket I have is investing. This is simply when I fill up my emergency fund, I start diverting some of my money into my investing account. I have a video about investing you can check, I'll link it in the description below, so I won't describe it here anymore because it's up to you if you want to have it or not. And then the third bucket for me, it's a mortgage bucket. And this is my biggest drain so far, because anything that doesn't go into emergency fund or investing fund goes here. And the rule I have is very simple. I want to repay mortgage as fast as possible, as with every dollar I'm able to put into mortgage is the dollar I save on interest that would otherwise go into the bank. The beauty of this bucket system is you get very clear of your intention, which bucket is for which purchase. And of course you can add, for example, different buckets, like for a new car, a new TV, a new computer, whatever you might like to purchase. I know it's much easier if you have separate savings accounts to achieve this, but in reality you can write down your goals on a piece of paper or in an Excel file or Google Sheets and work out from there how much you put into each bucket. Just remember, stay consistent, and also it's very important to have realistic expectations and goals so you avoid any disappointment. I talked more about goal setting in this video, so if you are interested, feel free to watch the video next. And if you found this video useful, please consider liking it and subscribing, as it means a lot. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.